All right. I think I'm back. Yeah. That was fun. First it crashed, and then I was like, oh god. I don't have any idea what the heck that was. But I believe that we're back. I believe that the audio is there again. So let me know if you can hear me all right. It looks like we're back online. It's streaming anyway. No, I don't want to restart the computer. Gotta love when something just updates on you, and you're like, wait, what just happened? Let's see. All right. I think we're back online. I think we're back. So I'm just going to continue through with where we're going. I'll find out in a second if I'm talking to myself and if you guys don't respond. But it looks like we're back online. So again, apologize. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. I have no idea what that was. Like it got really, really slow. I don't know if something was updating, like if it was a Windows thing or what it was. But then everything it locked out and was just like nope. Now, they are taking a tree down the street. They're taking like a monstrous tree down, so like our driveway is blocked. I was kind of like wondering, like, oh god, I hope they didn't drop a tree on one of the lines or something. Anyway, all right, let's go. Let's look at charts. VIX. Okay, so obviously looking at the VIX, very very funny chart. We're gonna go, not the 45-minute. Let's go to 30-minute. Very very funny chart, right? And you look at this and you're like, what the heck is this? That's, I mean, FOMC. There's nothing to talk about, right? Literally, huge spike up, spike back down, and then it was like, oh God, what do we do? And now we're like kind of stuck. So, it's always funny. Oh God, Jack is getting spoofed again. Not spoofed, but yeah. All right. So, again, a lot of craziness back and forth. They raised it, but then what are they going to do next? Again, the markets, if you look at the markets yesterday, they were all over the place, as they should be. It was kind of like, well, this, but wait, what about that? Well, wait, what about this? Again, the VIX is leveled out again. It is negative because, again, everybody's like, oh my God, they raise interest rates. They're going to raise it again. What's going on? The world is ending. So, you're seeing red across the board for the most part. And if anything, I would say this is kind of where like the hangover comes in. The spikiness yesterday, the up, when we mentioned kind of the everything you think is going to happen, it's probably going to be the opposite. And it did, but eventually it gets back online where it should be going. After it's wiped out kind of like all like the retail trader money in the trade setups. The VIX should technically start deteriorating back to the downside. What the heck is this? Got it. What? I don't even know what this is. It's funny. Things try to update, but they're like, oh, you're streaming. We won't update now. But yet there's the big message that's popped up to tell me on the screen, and I can't close it down. Gotta love computers today. Anyway, the VIX should start to deteriorate back down again. The market's obviously in the red because of the changes and everything else going on. But again, overall, it was telegraphed. The market expected it. And now we're at the stage of kind of what's next. It is really kind of the stage that we're at right now. Okay. The dollar, you look at this is that FOMC yesterday. Again, there was the initial like, yes. And then everybody like tried to get in and react. And then it was like, no. And then kind of went to where it was supposed to be. But then the realization is it's going to, you have the big, this is basically 3 o'clock this morning. This is the Japanese intervention, right? Right. And then again, we're kind of right where we started. Yesterday, we were sitting right here. We're literally just slightly different from where we were. But a lot of volatility down, a lot of volatility up, a lot of volatility back down again, and then chopping back and forth. Again, that's what you expect to see when you have things like interest rate rises of 0.75 and the BOJ intervening. Excuse me. All right. I have 1 coffee in me. I'll definitely hit a second coffee in soon. I have what? Oh, I hate those messages. All right, let's dive right in again. Look at commodities. They're mixed all over the place. Let's go to the Aussie dollar. So we talked about being down here for news yesterday, right? And we talked about a slow grind down. And it did give us a slow grind down. It didn't go all the way down there. But then when the candle came out, and actually, let's see. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the 14 candle, it drove it down. And it drove it all the way straight back up again. And then came back down and decided to falter. So yes, this pattern happened. And again, this is what you're looking for news. This is the spike down to a level and then the launch, right? So, news move was in. It ended up missing. We had drawn that 50% curve, kind of talking about where it would be to. We kind of missed it by a little. It just, I don't know. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll zoom it in so you guys can see. There's where we missed. And here, I'll pull this off. right? You can see we just missed it by just a little bit, right? Let's see. So again, down, grab the zone for news. Literally, parabolic move up again. Dollar weakness, right? Massive dollar weakness in, but it needed to find the guys down lower. So that's kind of how it works out. You caught that move in the last hour? Nice, Jeff. Good. So, yeah, is what it is. Move is in. Okay. Now we bounced off this lower level, and again, we got a little bit of a reversal. And here, this is what the European market did with it. You can see that this is where the European market started at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then magically down here, we kind of got a pullback. And as we started this morning at 8:30, again, we started the roll back down with the dollar strength of things. You may say, well, why is it rolling now? Why doesn't it retrace all the way back up? Well, very simply, right? Again, a move of 0.75, even though it was telegraphed, is a big deal. And banks will, and things like that, money will start rolling back into the dollar, giving us dollar strength. And there's always a retracement back in the value of the dollar. But now we're moving, and it's because of the unemployment data. Unemployment data was great this morning. We were really worried about going into recession. We expected to be lower. They adjusted the last one lower, expected this one higher, and it came in again. Unemployment claims, they're technically low, like 215. Anything below 280 is considered low. That's a low point. We're raising interest rates. Things are slowing down, and yet unemployment is not rising, which is great, which also kind of further emphasizes the fact that, hey, we could technically go a bit more, and we're not killing the economy. That's great, and that's why you're seeing the strength come back in again. So right now, we had marked off 2 potential levels, and we had marked them off yesterday, and you can see the first one, it got tagged and then launched itself for news time. And then what happened? It came down at base, they kind of ground through, grabbed the bottom level, hit it again, and then when it broke through, boom, it went all the way back up again and had another nice move, and now we're pulling back down. So right now, we'll pull both these levels off. I'll drag fibs down just so we can kind of continue the process. And you can see this one actually did chop through. I used the 23 a little bit. I think right now this probably comes down and stabilizes itself down here, right? Is where I would assume it stabilizes. I'm curious to see what it does when it reaches that level. And we're pretty close. I mean, we're about 37 pips from there. The reality is we should see a bit of retracing as the market equalizes and gets used to this. Everybody's raising right now, so this is not just a lone wolf US kind of raise. I'd like to see what it does. We could potentially get a 1030 reversal off of that. And again, it's just kind of profit taking in the grand scheme of things. We know that this level is kind of, again, I think this was done off a 4 hour. So it is a larger time frame level, but we've already taken one bounce off of it. The way that I would look at this right now is, again, if we could hit this one, and then kind of do like a little bit of a confirmation entry on there, I think that would be the best way to take this long. Vice versa, again, we know that the 23.6 level, it's already technically been kind of hit and is pushing down again. But I do like the way that candle formed, and I'm wondering, and again, this is an old level that we had marked as well, I'm wondering if this is going to be kind of the new kind of bounce back and forth, right? If we are going to start entering a kind of sideways movement from now till tomorrow, again, the major news for the week is out. But again, the data we can get tomorrow could absolutely help. So do we come in and do we take a bounce up again? And then do we come back up and test the 23.6 back down again? I'm kind of looking at that as an overall piece of it. Bring it up to a higher time frame on the 4 hour. You can see that there's where that bounce occurred. The next bouncing level isn't until a bit farther down. And I think, I'm pretty sure I can see it on a 2 hour. Yeah, I can. Cool. All right. So dropping it down to a 2 hour, you can see there's a decent candle formation with a confirmation sitting right there. And again, it's kind of been hit before. It's a little one about halfway through, but I'm just going to use that. So let's shrink it. Let's drag it all the way across. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right. So looks like, how much do we got? That's about 50 pips. We need 35 more to go. Can we actually sneak a short in there? 1, 2, 3 is right there. A little deep. I think that's close enough that we could probably get in there. So, and actually this is not dead on. 3, 4, 3 is right there. That's 3.07. We're good. There we go. That works. That would be our profit target. And let's take this and throw it there. There, and whoops, not gray. There we go. So looks like if we can get a base down here at that old level, at 65.74, we get a base, we get a drop below. Look for a hair pot of continuation trade. Grab it, take it short. Again, decent trade, about 50 pips to the downside. Would be a nice little grab on this one, continuing this one back down in the 65.20 range. Absolutely within range from hitting from the end of this week, so still time on this one. I would say that that's the next potential setup here. And again, it's just continuing the trend to the downside. Aussie yen. So how about that? Have not touched this chart since yesterday. Haven't looked at it. Again, we ended up basing off this first one. Came all the way down late last night and actually bounced off of it. And I mentioned all, Euro, Aussie, all those. Remember we talk about alerts, right? Dotted line. Alert was triggered, right? Alert was triggered at 4 o'clock in the morning. Again, I want to make sure that everybody sees this. There's the poke. So, yeah, if you were in this yesterday, and we mentioned that level, let's see. That is a move of 285 pips. Okay, if you caught just the initial two bursts, 260 pips to the downside. So, yeah, that's the power of intervention. The funny thing is we already took a bounce off this. And again, we talked about the 94 to 88. Don't believe me? Go back, watch yesterday's episode. And yeah, that was late last night. We ended up bouncing off that one. So again, we don't need it now because obviously it's been hit and crushed. Let's see. Where do we go with this now? Let's pull this down, see where we got. Problem is this is such a huge racetrack. Let's pull this and just do this and see. Yeah, that's probably what we'd be looking for. See if I could shrink it. Oops, not 30. Could I shrink that? Not really. Let's see how much is that? 28. 28's a bit much. Would have liked to get that retest in there. Is that better? Let's see. It's 23, and I prefer to do it there. Yeah. It's a little bit high risk, but again, it is a yen-based pair, so there's always typically a little bit more. 1, 2, and 3. I'd say that it's decent. Again, we're trying to play. What we're trying to do is we're trying to play off this one large movement down, so there's not a lot of zones on it. But I do like how it did kind of come back up in base, and it is a 50 now. It wasn't before, obviously, when it came up to here. It may have been. You know what? It may have been. Let's see. It was a 61. Nah, it didn't actually. Actually, it didn't tag either. It didn't tag a 50 or a 61. So where we are now, it is a 50. So there will be. It will be an area where there's sellers coming in. All right. So question is, do we tag them a little bit early on this one? And again, we tried to shrink it. Actually, we could probably shrink that a little bit. On the 30, it looks like it was a little bit bigger, but we're looking for the touch. So something along those lines. There's 325. I'd like to see what it does on the way back up, but I think again 94.80. There you go. 93.99. Actually, come on. We'll just make it. Boom. Right there. Okay. I think we're good to go. 94.80, 94. coming back down again. Little 80 pip run on that one. Probably pretty decent. I'd like to see what time of the day it hits it and what else is going on, but I think as everything kind of gets factored in, this will push back up again. Whoops. All right, euro dollar. Let's see. So euro dollar also had major movement, and again, we talked about it, being around this time. Euro dollar didn't move as much as I thought that it could. I actually thought we'd get a little bit more movement out of the euro dollar. You can see it chopped through and did a bunch of basing. None of it. I wouldn't say that there wasn't much of it that I was. Let's move some of this just to clean. I want to make this as clean as possible. We talked about 99. All right. So right now, let's see. Let's run a double on this one. Let's go here, and then I'm going to run a double from here down. Okay. There is a level at the 50. I'm just trying to get just trying to look for, I don't think we can grab it. Let's see. It's close. All right, so this one has kind of a similar path to it. You're going to have more short-term traders taking things on this one. Trying to see if we could have like a kind of a double flip on it. Answer is no. We're not going to get a double on it. Let's bring this to here. We'll track it to here. All right. So kind of the same thinking. Again, I think there is more continued dollar strength in this. I'd like to get it on pullbacks. Unfortunately, we've already had a 23, and it was a little bit shy from where our testing was. Again, the testing, this line here, this is a 50% retracement level. Right. I'd like the level. Unfortunately, it was a little bit shy. So again, some people would have snagged this at 4:30 this morning. I think we're good for one more hit. Again, it's 2 front runs off of it, so it's kind of a similar path. It would be a short over here at 99.15, looking for a push, something along these lines. Here down to there. Okay. Yeah. It's very, very similar. So like I said, I'm still in the path there. I think there is more dollar strength coming back into the market. Even if they slow, I think there'll be more. Obviously, we know they're raising the euro, but a lot of the things we're seeing, and particularly all the numbers that we're seeing for tomorrow morning, all these numbers are also shown below 50. So not necessarily the strongest thing. Yes, they absolutely have to combat inflation like everybody else, but not one of those things that, and look, right, a 50 basis point hike, Norges Bank, but we notice a small dovish tilt, right? People want big numbers right now. Unfortunately, with them, services and manufacturing all below 50 shows contraction. They haven't even started really raising yet, and they're already seeing all these negative numbers. So it's a bad recipe. I'd like to see some reversal in this one. As far as taking this long from the bottom, again, I don't necessarily want to get long on this one. I would like to find areas to get short on the euro. There is a level down below, and again, we've seen buyers step in right at this level. This could actually be a 1030 reversal trade setup. So if you are looking for something, it is lower risk. It is 20 pips, though, so it is a little bit much for me. What I'd really like to do is I'd love to have this go here. Actually, let's go European Open tomorrow morning. Let's see, 3. I'd like to be, and their news is 3:15, 3, mostly 3:15-ish. So it's probably more in there. I'd like to see this. I'd like to see some type of a setup like that, if that makes sense to you guys. I'd like to see it take a bounce and kind of start reverting back up, seeing kind of the dollar, like not selling, not dollar. It is dollar weakness, but it's kind of like dollar profit taking more than anything else. I'd like to see, if we can get up here, I think you can find a decent short. Now, understand that there are going to be sellers coming in here and sellers coming in here. So 2 levels. 2 levels are close, right? I think it's a decent setup for tomorrow. Again, if you want to take a small bounce today, there is a potential at 10:30. Drop it down to a 5-minute. Look for a color change, a green, red, green. Roll and flip. So we talked about being low. We talked about it coming in. We talked about it driving down. I'm just going to move this across. And again, I haven't touched this. Look, here's your first one, right? There's your first one, which was, before news, obviously, right? Here's the news. I'm going to delete this so you can see it, right? We talked about it coming down. There's your down. There's your hit. There's your back up again. So I think this is good up top. This one didn't get hit, so we can extend that one across. It was not up here for news. It was on the downside. So we're literally right now, we're basically in the same exact spot that we were yesterday. Not anything earth-shattering. Tomorrow morning will be a bit of a ping-pong back and forth, so watch it. Right now, we're kind of in the middle of two ranges. If we can get back up tomorrow morning for the news, and again, you can see it all stacked over here, 87.66. And again, this level, hit, hit, hit. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4 we expect to break, 4 broke. Funny enough, it broke through the top and used it on the other side as well. We'll delete it just to keep it clean. But right now, kind of here's my two ranges in this one, top and bottom. We're sitting smack in the middle. With the highs here, I like this. I think this one turns and kind of rolls back down again. I like to see where this one goes tomorrow morning. Right now, it's in the middle of the range. No real selling in there. Is using it as a proxy. I would say right now it's probably set up more for a little bit of pound strength. But we'll kind of see. Again, we'll see how this one rolls. Euro, yen. Yeah. So there's the two levels that we talked about. There's your basically European Open intervention. There was your short from yesterday, right? Here is FOMC, right? Didn't hit it, so you remove it. And yeah, there is the second level, 144.47. And look at that. Magically, it was in an area of confirmed sellers that we had mentioned before. And the response to this one was, I don't know if you guys can see this. 500 pips, right? That's an intervention, right? Going from 143 all the way down to 138. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about, that these are the monstrous interventions that exist in the market. So again, this profit target got already taken out over there. Funny enough, if you would have taken the long off this one, right, if you would not have been stopped out on this one, and again, kind of risky for news because we're sitting in the middle, but if you had taken it, the 141 was long. There was the target where we said get out. If you got short, obviously it got blown up, and then again, funny enough, we dropped, we based, we pulled back, we hit it, and we Harry Pottered off of it. So, yeah. Let's see. Right now, let's see. Is there any zones that kind of make great sense in it? Not really for there. Let's see. Let's pull it down. Yeah, probably there. This is most likely what we're going to see is probably today a retracement back up again. I will mark off a level here, and it's just shy of the 50. It is that old level. So again, the zone was formed coming off that old level, and we know that the 50 is in there. I would say that there's probably a short trade setup sitting here somewhere around 141.05. There we go. Or 103 is sitting right there. Okay. Right there. 141.05. Okay. So, and again, we had a nice kind of impulse correction and then kind of a base and drop off of it. So we know we got some sellers in there. So kind of the same standardized trade that we're seeing in other things. Look for a retracement back up again today would be long. Again, seeing that again, the intervention is in. Now that it's factored into the market, you should see it kind of tick back up a little bit. That would make complete sense for it to run right back up into the 141 and start to roll over. Interventions tend to work, but sometimes, again, when the profit taking comes in, it's like a rubber band. It springs too far, then gets really, really small, and then comes back again and kind of equalizes itself. We should see it kind of retrace a bit today, turn, and then kind of bounce back to the downside. Pound yen. So pound yen, when you look at this one, we talked about some opportunity in this one. We can drag this down, and again, there is some basing in here. Let's see. Here's where the FOMC stuff was, literally a chop back and forth, right? There's a couple levels in here. I mean, obviously this level's blown. The 23.6, I would not be, now that it's been established, I would be very cautious with it. Yellow line is now at the 50, right? Our yellow line, which was, again, barely breached. It's got a far way to run. It's 150. That's a bit of a retracement to get up that far. So 150 is more than it's basically a standard ATR. It's above a standard ATR, so it's not going to be a 1 day move. And the problem is we're rolling into the weekend. So being Thursday, we only got 24 hours to go. Let's see on a daily. Yeah, daily ATR is only 122 right now. Hmm. I wish there was a better zone there. Hmm. This is news, though. This is what you get with news and interventions and just the chop. Um, this one is kind of set up for a 1030 reversal as well. There is a zone down there. It was the last push down. We know that, again, it was unable to grind any further. There was buyers that stepped in, and that's what popped it back up again. It did go to a legitimate area. I mean, it is an area. There is an area sitting right here. So it wasn't a legitimate turning area, but it's hit it a few times now and actually kind of breached the top and hit it again. So I'm kind of wondering in the next 24 hours if we bounce back and forth between these two. Both sides are rather small. Yeah, it's 20. So it's all right. It looks very much like the euro dollar does, where we had an area there could be a reversal and some dollar profit taking coming in. And again, all it would do is kind of just bounce it back up higher. So it's there, right? It's there. Hmm. You know, it's there, but it's. I wish it was turning just a little bit lower. I hate the fact that it's starting the base beforehand because, again, that's where sellers will pop in. So, yeah, I think this one needs to equalize. Let me go up to a 4 hour and see what we have. See, the problem is it's just so low. It's one of these things. I don't really. It's very, very hard to grab a bottom because there's really nothing here to pull from. That's unfortunately the best thing that we have. Hmm. I don't know. It's up to you guys. It's all right. It's probably like a B base trade for me. B minus, C plus. The channeling back and forth. I kind of want to see a good, decent bottom put in. This is not a good, decent bottom. I like the one candle bottom. I like how it exploded off of it, but unfortunately, we don't really have anything higher time frame to kind of help us with this one. So, and again, the UK raised, but the UK is in a much weaker situation. We know they're already in a recession. It looks like we're going to skirt the edges and maybe be able to avoid a recession completely. So, I mean, we need one eventually, but I would say right now it's probably going to tick up, but it's not quite at an entry level. So I feel like this is one that's going to leave without us. So it's hard. Here's your BOJ intervention right there. And, here's your, I'll remove these lines. There was your drop from the first one. And there was your drop from the second one. Okay. We had a level drawn. And if I extend that level across, magically look at that. Not this one. Right. I just extended that red line across, and just another proof, just more proof. Look at this. It's kind of like they knew, right? They drove up, and all of a sudden, where the intervention come in? 4 o'clock in the morning, and it happened to be running into a zone, and that was where the turning point was. Isn't that funny how that works out, right? A monumental, gigantic shift, right? This was huge. This was 528 pips. Magically, what did it do? It ran right into a zone of sellers, right in between 23.6 and 50. So there was nothing in there, right? There's nothing in there whatsoever, right? Um, mm, Problem is what to do with it right now. It's funny we hit dotted lines down there. Yeah, we're talking about these guys right here. Hmm. I would say probably look for a bit of a retracement. Let's pull all these old things that I thought I deleted most of these things. Funny, we have target. Funny, there's the target. Right, we talked about yesterday 159.70. You can see that the initial spike went right off the red target. Right there. All right, let's drag this down. That's interesting. There may be one more trade there. It's backstop by 61.8. Let's pull that. We know we're in a level. There's dotted lines there. What do we got below that? $158.39. Pull that. That short obviously was way out. Sorry, I'm just trying to delete a bunch of these old ones. Oh, this one has a ton. I'm gonna have to go back and just do clear all. All right. So what I would say on this one is we are in a level right now. We've smashed into it. Again, it was a level. It wasn't necessarily a reversal trade for us. It was a profit target. That's why we had the numbers in black. I'd like to see this one deteriorate just a little bit more. It would be nice. I mean, we're hitting it. We're finding some sellers coming in right now, right at that 160 mark, as we should. 160 is going to be a big psychological level. I'd like to see this just to continue to roll just a bit more, and I think 158.40 is kind of where we're looking to go long with this one. Yeah, I think we're good with that one. I don't want to mess with this one too much. I think 158.40 is where we're really looking for. And again, profit target was hit. We're out. And again, I think we used the top level. Again, even though there was an intervention, that level held. And monsters push off of it. And right now, because of the low push down, it is now backstopped by a 61.8. So we're going to have some technical traders in there as well and help with that one. Dollar CAD. So Dollar CAD, still waiting for this thing to come and drop through. You can see, look at this. It just grind, FOMC, pop, and then kind of sideways. So we can remove this now. Let's put a new top on this one. And it's an okay top. It's an okay top. And again, we've talked about a couple different trade reversals at 10:30 today. Obviously, the dollar's in the first position, not the second one, so it's kind of flipped. We're super, super close to where the reversal was. We saw it in the euro dollar, we saw it in the pound dollar, and the dollar CAD. It's kind of the same thing. And I would say I agree with it. It'd be nice if we could just get that last little kind of hiccup into it. The way that it's looking right now, I don't know if we're going to make it in 12 minutes. It's already starting to turn and flip, and sometimes that happens. Like I said, a lot of money was made and lost in a very short period of time over the last 24 hours. So I think right now, again, we're still waiting for the price to come back down and stabilize. The fact that the two lows are hot, lower low again, looks like the next push down will probably come down and test 133.70. We're looking for a break of 133.31 to go all the way back down. And where are we at right now? 130. It's 200 pips. It's a lot. I don't know. I'd like to target this one. I'd like this to come all the way back down. I'd like to get us back down. I'm not bringing it, obviously, but 133, I think, is kind of where the target is and really what makes the most sense. Again, if the United States is not going to recession, China comes out of one. We should see oil burst. We should get some Canadian strength coming back into this market. So overall, I'd like to see this target. This is more of a swing position, not necessarily an intraday based trade, but look for it to turn and roll back down. 133 is where we're looking. Dollar Swiss. Again, dollar Swiss is up big. We saw it kind of deteriorate back and forth. You can see right here, 4 o'clock in the morning intervention. Boom, skyrocketed it right back up again. So right now, the 78.6 is out on that top side. Finally, we can take that one off. And again, there wasn't a lot of levels up here we liked. There's a small one up there. I'll leave that for right now. Let's pull this. Let's draw some fibs here. We're going to pull from, let's do it from down here. Let's see. All right. Now off the new push, you can see that the 61.8 level. The problem with the 61.8 level, though, problem with 618 level is look how many times we touched it. Touch, and touch. But the explosions off of it have been good. So right now, what I'd be looking to do is, again, see kind of this, to come back down again. It's way too big of a candle, though. 38, no. Nope, not doing 38. Even So this is kind of where we're set up at right now. And again, this one is in the level, that kind of dollar weakness kind of rolling back down again. Oof. It's actually not in a horrible position. Right? That's actually not a bad position. It's not actually horrible. Not actually horrible. And again, obviously parabolic move up. We're looking for a retrace back down again. Based off the parabolic move, that's where your profit target needs to be. Oops, that is definitely not straight. 41. Yeah. Not actually a horrible trade. I think this one does turn and roll back down again. So again, maybe you may already be in a little bit. Maybe we get a little bit of a break. But again, being 1030, being that we're seeing this set up in the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the dollar CAD, we're also seeing the dollar Swiss and it's starting to go as well. So I think they're all again. Hopefully, there's enough juice in the market today to have that kind of push through. So. Dollar yen. Funny enough, we talked about this monstrous large time frame level. So yesterday, unfortunately, look at this. Up, down, we open and close on the same exact candle, right? This push right here, this was that intervention. We talked about getting short this one, but this one obviously being a much harder play, okay? It did come up. It did go, again, you can see that it didn't quite make it. What did it make it up to? 145.90 was the high. You may say 90 flat, 90.0? Yes, 90.0. This is what I'm talking about, that there are certain things, when the price hits, things happen. This is one of those scenarios where, again, this is today's range, right? 145.90. That's what happens with interventions. So, and you can see monsters hit all the way back down on the 140, sucked off, 600 pips? Yeah, 550 pips to the downside. Absolutely 100% justified. Been waiting for a move like that to happen. It ended up in going a larger time frame level, which is great. Oops, let me put this on the. I was like, wait, way too many candles here. Again, 1, 2. Again, slice through it now. Okay, we're good. All right. Let's see. Let's bring this up. Did it go off there? It did go off there. Okay, so I can use that. I don't like this one, though. God, I don't like that zone, though. There's the top. All right. Remove that. Bring that down. And that is... Oh. That hiccup. See, I have it scaled so you guys can see it. That hiccup right there, you're looking at this like, it's $1 yen. It's probably, I don't know, 15 to 19, 15 to 18. It's scaled to the screen. That's 50 pips, that hiccup. So the reality is the chart is kind of more looking like this, right? Just when I scale it, it just shows you how large of a move that is. So the problem that we're going to run into right now is because this is such monstrous movement, the risk levels are just absolutely monstrous right now. If I drop it down to a 15, we can shorten this just a little bit, but we're losing the test on it. Even that's probably 35. No, it's 46 still. So, yeah, this is the problem with this one. I'm on a 15-minute now. A 15-minute zone is still 46 pips. Way too much for my liking. I'd say, listen, we got a front run area up top, and right now we're using this almost like a longer time frame piece. This is going to start to get very, very small. Like this is what normal looks like. And you're like, oh my God, those candles are so tiny, right? Make those candles normal. Like, there we go. Now the candles look like something. But if I go over here, you're like, wait, what happened? I can't see anything. It's too much. So it's really the scaling of things. So dollar yen, take it for what it's worth. I would say dollar yen. Honestly, I almost need this one to reset. I would say the way that this is looking with a pullback being a 23.6 level, you will see people that are going to start selling this one. It kind of goes into the narrative we're seeing on a lot of other pairs. Question is, at 140.50, are we looking to take this long? A little bit more complicated. And again, it's just because of so much movement. The risk levels are so big. And again, they're out of the norm, right? They're out of the norm, right? This risk level is almost what, a daily ATR level is. So it's not applicable to trading right now. So it's kind of, you can take it with something like an options product, but trying to establish risk in a cash market or futures market, a little bit risky where it's based off of showing you. And this is what big money looks like, guys. If you don't know, an intervention, this is central bank. It's as big as you get, right? The main head honcho is intervening, and that's how you can get such a monstrous pit. 5 days worth, 8 days worth of movement in 2 hours, 1 hour. Yeah, got to wait for the markets to stabilize after that one. Bitcoin up a little bit. Again, I would say that it's really not much difference. This one popped above, popped below, that kind of consolidation, but we're in the same exact spot. Ethereum actually is just still holding that same channel. If I continue the channel down, we're still holding the same channel. Doji, same thing. We spiked above, spiked below, and we're smack dead in the middle. So not a big deal there. Commodities. Talked about a rock and a hard place. If I continue this across, you can see we pierced a little bit below. It looks like actually, instead of drawing it there, I should have drawn it down here where the profit target was. There is the bottom level, because that's where we drew our profit target here. And you can see the profit target was the top. And then again, came back in. So we're up 129. Kind of in the middle. Like I said, we kind of needed this one to kind of go one of the two ways. Yesterday we were sitting right here. Here's the 1030 window. We're in the same exact spot we were at 1030. So all we did was come down on the shorts, grab the profit target, and kind of retrace back up again. But neither entry has really been tagged either way. So oil today, again, that unemployment number is good. That should have raised it, but we're kind of just holding firm here. Again, all the data from tomorrow is kind of hurting oil. I actually kind of like oil more towards the downside on this one, particularly with all the European data being below below 50 tomorrow. So best setup? No. It's all right. So right now, I'd say nothing today on this. Natural gas, you can see we've really stabilized. Look, we took a pop up, pop down. Let's see, yesterday we were sitting, here's your 1030 candle. We're basically in the same exact spot. So not much difference. We're still quite not at a level where we could potentially go long. And again, no major news. There is an inventory today, so we'll see if inventory provides any type of a burst at 11. Gold. There you go. Look at that. We drew the level. There's your FOMC. And if you remember yesterday, I mentioned FOMC was kind of half expecting them to kind of come out with some type of weaker news that we'd see an explosion in gold. And you know what it did? The 4 o'clock window drove us straight down into the zone that we had drawn. And what did it do? It launched us all the way back up for the 4:30 window. So it did exactly what we talked about. A little bit of a softer tone. Now, it did go through the top. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, we expected it to break. It did. It's still kind of providing somewhat of a shadow up top. But yeah, so we got the monstrous movement. Overall, gold is slightly higher than we are. It's up 0.21. I think it's in the right spot. We do have now kind of lower lows or lower highs kind of coming in here. So we do kind of have a cap on there. Let's see. In that push down to up, yeah, you can see that, the 50 did provide a little bit. And again, up to down, we retraced it all the way back again. So if you kind of use it to redraw it, I guess if you redrew it there, up, the 50 just came in play, but you can see that it's having a hard time getting back up to where the original 23.6 was. So I'd say I would expect gold to kind of just start meandering back down again. The reality is they did raise interest rates. They are raising them again, even with those tones. I think the news trade for gold is out right now. And if anything, I would say if you're looking for a gold position, there's not really a great level, but I would say probably coming back down. And again, by Friday, would not be surprised if it's 16.65. Silver. We were looking for a big push up, and it didn't grind it. It did in one candle. So I'll remove this so you can see where the news came in. We talked about a grind up and then the news. Well, it drove it straight to here. It was a straight up and then a straight down, right? And I missed it by a little bit, right? If you take the trend line and throw it there, I called for there. It went a little bit lower. So I missed it by a little bit, guys, on the down run. But, I mentioned being, getting short silver, looking for a spike. And again, we're good there. Silver's in the kind of the same type of scenario as well. The bottom side of this is 1907. We're sitting right in the middle. Yesterday, we're sitting right here. So a little bit different, and we're starting to rally down. I would say also bearish today is what my opinion is for going south. I'm good with that. Oops, spilled a little coffee on the keyboard. So not much we can do with silver. Again, bearish gold, silver, both of them, I think. Again, silver 1907. Gold looking for it to come all the way back down to 1665. Indices, it's funny. The last couple of days, this is Twitter. Like, is this trending? We got trending market, right? Trending market here, right? No. Not so much. More sideways than anything else. Apple also, again, kind of stuck within the same range. Tesla also kind of stuck in the same range. It's just on the lower end of it. So not really a whole lot of factors there. Again, VIX it's starting to come back down again, right? It's not the peak. It spotted the open, and now it's starting to roll back down again. And all the indices are mixed. You can see dollar starting to have some problems as well. So ES, let's see what we had at the opening prints today. 945, 930. So technically, if there's your bottom, there's your test, right? In the overnight, 945, 930 was heading down. So it's not quite an opening print. It's a 945-ish type hit. It looks like you'd be in a position, and it looks like right now, let's see, we'll draw it. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. Now, technically, not bad. It's okay. Your profit target would have had to come in right around where that 1 to 3 was. It did go down. It did pop. So right now you're at about a 1 to 1. At this point, if you're in this trade, I would say set your stop loss to break even. It is a trigger. It did kind of go back from the time, from the 9 o'clock down. It did drive us to a level. It was a confirmed level. And again, you're kind of at a 1 to 1 right now, but at 10:30 is when you expect the profit taking to come in and kind of a reversal to set in. So it's there. Again, I would say probably stop loss at break even, worst case scenario. So again, this one's kind of bracketed in. The hard part about this one is the 845 part. There was a zone sitting right there that was formed at 445. So the reality was you were already kind of short in a trade from 845. So this would have been your profit target, not necessarily an entry. So it's kind of hard. And like I said, you guys know the order of this. If there's an opposing level, typically you got to see if you're already in a short to take it. The reality was you were already in a short from this window right here at 845, the kind of a news trade. This should have been your profit target. Typically, we don't use a profit target as an entry as well. Kind of one of those things. If you're taking it for just the opening print, like all you care about is the opening print, then yes, it was an entry. You got about halfway through and it's starting to roll and now have some problems. And again, at 10:30, this is not where we really want this one to take off. So we'll see. NQ. NQ did the same exact bit, right? Looking at that piece, you can see that there's where your touch is. I don't even need fibs right now because of all this drama. I mean, look at the craziness back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. Kind of the same thinking on this one. There's your zone, right? We drove into the zone right at the open, so the 9 o'clock window was down. But the problem is at 8:45, you just entered a short trade. So yes, it did drive it down, but the factor wasn't the opening kind of manipulation. It was the seller sitting right here. So kind of the same scenario, right? Yeah, you can see that it was not even a 50. It's not even, look, 23, nothing. Didn't even pause. Blew right through. 50 would have been the next time fib traders got in, and nothing. It turned and rolled. But there's your area of supply. There's your touch, and there. So kind of the same thinking. Yes, it drove at the opening print, but at the same time, it was supposed to be a profit target. So it's, hard, right? YM. Also similar. Let's see. Did YM do anything? Nope. Didn't even slow down. Turned, rolled. Same exact setup today. Same exact setup. There's your trigger. Had the same bottom, right? There's your confirmed bottom. There's your touch, right? And kind of the same, right? This should have been it's your profit target first. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So this one you got 2/3 of the way. This one made it to 1 to 2.55. So you almost got to 3. Right? Almost got to 3. But the same thinking, you know, and as I just said, this is your profit target, right? Man, they're cutting a tree and I can hear the chainsaws. That's your profit target, right? So, yeah, crappy when that happens, but that's the reality of it. I mean, that's why rules exist, right? That's why the rules exist. Yeah, so the move down was not pre-market movement. It was the shorts from there. And I think that went a full, pretty sure that went the full amount already. Yeah, 1 to 3 is right there. There's your 1 to 3. So you can see. There's your profit target 1, and that's where you make that. There's where your profit is. So same setup. Again, it's a shame because you know, nice new setups today. And let's see Russell. So yeah, Russell's the same. Russell actually would not have been a qualification, but there you go. There's your 8:30 news move, right? Your 8:30 news move. And this one had a zone that was confirmed. But let's see. Yeah, the 9:30 was right here. So this is it's a bit too far away, right? And you can see we drove down. We actually used the level and continued lower. So yeah, unfortunate. Not much really we could have done with that one. Although now, look, this zone is definitely one for later on down the road. 1776, baby. A good year, right? Depending on where this bottom falls, you can see that we are now in the range of the 50 right now is backstopping, and we're getting close to the proximal side with a retest. So don't need this. Yeah, 1776. Whoops. 1775. Set yourself, if you want to set an alert for 1775, I think there's a decent level there. This one's probably going to continue to go lower. And like I said, it's probably justified. So, yeah, as far as opening prints go, if you took just the opening print candle and you did not look backwards at all, it's kind of like if you were like a tier 1, I'll say it this way. It's probably the best way to say it. If you were a tier 1 trader, right, a tier 1 opening print trader that you know just the basic strategy and the rules, and you're looking at it, you would have probably taken maybe 2 out of 3. Maybe 2 out of 2, or maybe 2 out of 4, right? 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, something like that. Russell definitely no. The other ones, maybe. I mean, ES, you could have taken it with ES. NQ could have taken it as well. I mean, it was there right at 945. YM also kind of the same thing, right at 945. So you're going to take in 3 out of 4. Right now, ES is still positive. With a stop out at break even, you made it about 2/3 of the way through. NQ, again, NQ was 945. This one had moved the most. I'll throw it on. Again, I don't care. I mean, it is what it is. 1, 2, 3 is sitting right there. Okay, so right now, if you tier 1 trader, you have 1 that's positive, 2 that's positive, and 3 that again you were literally almost there, and we've just passed the window. So 3 that are positive, you could technically shut them all down for 3 winners for the day if you wanted to. Russell would not be a trigger. A tier 2 trader would have looked these and said, I need to be a little bit more cautious with it because that should be the profit target from the news. News there, and again that news is out. That news is out. That news is out. They're all the same. They're all 1 to 3s at the 845 initial trigger. So take it for what it's worth. Is what it is. Not much else you can do with it. All right. So 1040, we're a little bit late, but I did have the technical difficulties with the restart. So with that, let's go across and do our drawing. So Ernest won yesterday. So, was it Ernest or was it Neuro yesterday? Who won yesterday? I'll check it, but I think it was Ernest yesterday because it was Neuro the day before. So I think it was I think Ernest won it yesterday. So in that case, Ernest going for 100. Everybody else going for their 25. It was okay. If Neuro's saying it's Ernest, then it's definitely Ernest. All right. So with that said, let's close it down. Let's do the drawing for the day. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro. I think Neuro said that purposely because Neuro had sliced the hacks in and said, "Hey, I'm taking this one," and he laughed. I did. I heard the laugh. I heard it, guys. I heard it. So Neuro gets his 25. But Neuro did too. So Neuro technically, he spent 10 to get 25. He was positive 15 on the day, so not bad. It worked, right? Gaining a little bit right there. Neuro, let's give him his 15. Or I give him his 25, but he spent that much. So yeah, it's rigged. Absolutely rigged. But he laughed. He laughed. Because for Neuro, it's like a bonus point, right? That competition back and forth, right? So anyway, monstrous moves. We know exactly why it happened. The intervention. I've been talking about the intervention for 2-3 weeks. We talked about it. Actually probably longer than that. 135, 140. They said it's coming. It's coming, guys. When they had the monetary policy yesterday, you said, guys, this is it. This is it. This could be it. And it was. Again, 500 points in some of these things. Absolutely monstrous movements. Tomorrow morning, again, a lot of it is early morning trading. Again, showing more European recession, European hardship, and again, that should provide a little bit more dollar strength. But remember, it is Friday. The goal is to get out and be done by 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. You're not really playing reversals. Not that you can't get moves, but is it the best? No, it's not the best. As Asher would say, it's good, but it's not the best. All right, so with that said, good trading. Tokyo says enough is enough. I love that. Love it. They've been listening to my show. I know it. Right. The ECB is not any currency denying concerted intervention with Japan. Yeah. Right. Lovely. Everyone's like, you intervened? Happens all the time. All right. That's it. Good trading today. Hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of FOMC and everything else with the intervention today. Again, those technical levels still held up just fine for entries. It's amazing they knew, right? They knew it got right there and then bam, they intervened. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much. And I'll see you then. Take care.